To veteran Johnny Stevens in 2005 when we featured his fight to keep his home in Carteret, New Jersey after officials tried to seize it under eminent domain laws. Diagnosed with cancer, he only had a few years to live, and his final wish was to live his last days in his home. Johnny Stevens passed away last Thursday in his home at the age of 86. After his appearance on Hannity and Combs, the town decided to let Mr. Stevens keep his house. Let's take a look.
All in all, it was my intentions just to live right here with the little time I got left, which isn't too much. But they're going to see to it that I don't. Most people don't understand that what it means about money. Money is all right, but with a guy like me, it's not money. I was intending to stay here the rest of my life. This is the spot where the daycare center was. And it was really a beauty. Had my name across the top on it. They spent about $250,000 getting the center ready. And the thing that hurts me most is because I'm not physically able to fight the way I want to. Because I am a sick man, and I don't have too much time left. But I had intended to live out the rest of my life in that little house I got, tend my garden, and be a living peace. As it stands right now, I don't know where I'm going or what I'm going to do.
Johnny Stevens was laid to rest this morning. He was remembered as a war hero, community activist, loving husband, father, and grandfather. We're now joined by Mr. Stevens' attorney, Anthony Delapelle. Anthony, welcome back to our show.
Thank you, Alan.
This was a Bronze Star recipient. He fought in the Battle of the Bulge to help cut Germany's supply lines, help save American lives. And yet he was treated this way by his government.
Johnny was a fighter.
Did he die a happy man?
I think he did. He died in peace. His desire was to stay in his home, to live the rest of his life there, and he was able to do that. So
what enabled him to do that?
A lot of it had to do with the show. After we appeared here almost 2 years ago, we were able to make an agreement with the borough who allowed him to live there and held off on building the project as it affected his house. So he was able to stay there and receive hospice care during his last months of life.
Is this, and that's I guess, a bittersweet ending, but what about others who are going through this? What is the future of that tract of land, that part of New Jersey?
That project is proceeding. There are 2 parcels which are not being acquired, Johnny's and the one next to his. The project itself will go forward, though. But there are other people like Johnny all around the state of New Jersey who are the victims of these kinds of projects.
Is shining the spotlight of the public glare on this changing anything about how the government is prosecuting these cases?
I think what we're seeing is that there's a lot more public attention to it, and there's a lot more outcry about it. And those are very positive things because it allows our government to understand where there are abuses of eminent domain powers.
But there's still abuses taking place.
Absolutely, every day.
And your job, I guess, is to, it seems like it's inevitable. I mean, you're getting compensation for people who are in this situation, but ultimately it seems whatever happens, the government does get that land.
They can in most cases, and if they do get the land, then hopefully at least the people who own the land will get fairly compensated or justly compensated for the property.
You know, I'm maybe a little angrier than both of you, because I don't think an American citizen who works hard, serves his country, is an American hero, pays taxes, abides by the rules, should have to, spend the remaining years of his life hiring you, an attorney, to go out there and fight to allow him to stay in the home he wants to stay in.
Well, we're lucky that we have people like Johnny who made those decisions and who fought those fights.
Well, yeah, and this was, by the way, what started our eminent domain coverage, and I'm very proud to say that we've had an impact in a lot of cases because they see this on television, there's a community uprising, and then these politicians eventually back off. But if there's not media attention, they basically take people's property, their homes, even in the case of heroes that have lived there for 40 or 50 years, because they want to build shopping centers and malls and make more money, right?
That's right. Johnny shouldn't have had to fight, but he did, and luckily he won that fight. The only one he lost was his fight with cancer.
Yeah. No, you got very close to him.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. No, well, you know, you could tell he was just a soulful, you know, strong fighter and, you know, a great human being and, you know, who did so much for his country and in his life. What a shame that he has to fight for his house.
One of the speakers at his funeral service this morning said that he left a legacy of integrity, and I think that really summed it up very well.
I guess what I want people to understand here, why this is so outrageous, and by the way, one of the few times Alan and I agree, people like him should never be forced out of their house. Now, eminent domain works if there's the need for a road or a school or a bridge or serves the community at large. How many instances are there they want more tax revenue because they want to build a condo complex or a shopping mart of some kind? Isn't that what
it really varies from state to state, and every state has its own laws. In New Jersey, the government is not supposed to take your property just to create more tax revenues, but there are examples where it has happened.
But they do it all the time.
They do it all the time.
Yeah, it's
Anthony,
frustrating.
thank you
Well, he
very
was a
much.
real
Thank
hero.
you.
He really,
Thanks very much for being
Thanks
here.
for having
Thanks
me.
for being
And
here.
some good representation there for your client. Thanks very much.
Thanks. Good to see you. Thank
American
you.
Idol Taylor Hicks is here to tell us about